Looking for a degree program that rewards you for what you already know? At WGU, all of our bachelor's and master's programs are competency-based, allowing you to progress at your own pace. Washingtonians know how valuable time and money are, and so do we. At WGU, your hard work and experience can help you finish your degree faster and for less. Join a community of driven professionals from across the DMV who are unlocking new career opportunities today. See how your knowledge can give you an edge at wgu.edu.
Good afternoon. We're getting right down to business here. We're doing it live, doing more at 4 weekday afternoons. Mottek On Money. We're live on the air right here in 790 KBC, streaming live online worldwide at kbc.com. And you're on demand Mottek On Money podcast, kbc.com, Apple iTunes, YouTube, all of your favorite podcast platforms. Record-shattering day on Wall Street with stocks edging higher, sending the broadly based S&P 500 and the tech-heavy NASDAQ to all-time highs. Stocks did recover this afternoon to hit record highs despite renewed trade tensions. President Trump said he was terminating talks with Canada. I'll be discussing today's record-shattering day for stocks later this hour with investment expert Jonathan HOENIG, Fox News and Fox Business contributor, portfolio manager at Capitalist Pig Hedge Fund, and author of the book Price is Primary, How to Profit with Any Asset in Any Market at Any Time. Turning now to the Main Street economy first. Joining us live now, Rick Caruso, Los Angeles business leader, civic leader, leading philanthropist, leader of the Steadfast LA Initiative, leading the firestorm recovery in Altadena, Malibu, and the Pacific Palisades. Rick Caruso, of course, also developer of the most popular shopping destinations here, including Palisades Village, the Grove, Americana brand, Commons at Calabasas, and the list goes on. Certainly at every business event I've attended, new calls for Rick Caruso to run again for mayor or maybe governor. Rick Caruso, thank you very much for joining us live here this afternoon.
Hey, Frank, thank you very much for having me. How are you?
Wonderful to speak with you, and great seeing you on the cover of the LA Business Journal's LA Top 500 Top Business Leaders here in LA. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us here live on Mottek On Money on 790 KBC. And take it from the top and give us an update on the Steadfast LA efforts and your efforts to rebuild Malibu, the Palisades, and Altadena.
Well, Frank, thanks for the opportunity. We have some good things happening in Malibu and in Altadena and in Palisades. And I was out on the Palisades yesterday, and we're working with the designers to get the park rebuilt. We're excited about kicking some dirt out there and breaking ground very soon, and working with the school district on helping them get the schools reopened. We are doing the same in Altadena. Been working with Supervisor Barger and her office on the Upper Lake and the commercial district, and working with small business owners. So we have a lot happening. I still am disappointed at the speed of recovery. I'm disappointed with the amount of building permits that have been processed. You know, we really need, the city needs to clear the deck on regulations.
Get rid of that red tape. Get rid of that red tape and roll out the red carpet here. I know that's something that you've prioritized. And so how is the effort going? Last time we spoke, you announced that Palisades Village will be opening next year with one of the top business people you made that announcement with recently. Tell us about how things are going as far as the recovery is concerned from your vantage point.
Yeah, they're going well. Listen, out at the village, you know, we have started all of the work on the village. You know, I think everybody knows now, fortunately, it didn't burn down. But we're going in and we're literally gutting out the spaces. All the restaurants are going to get rebuilt. All the apartments, homes going to be rebuilt. Want to make sure they're absolutely safe and clean, and people are excited about using them again. So we're on schedule to reopen middle of next year, and we're excited about that. And we're attracting some really great retailers, and most of the retailers that are out there are excited to reopen with us and be part of the rebirth of the Palisades.
The other big news this week, L.A. declaring a fiscal emergency, and then looks like the city council is going to be taking the month off here. What's your reaction to what they declared there and the city's dire financial situation in the face of all this at this critical time? A $1 billion budget hole and pressure on the police department and fire department and pretty much all departments here in the city of Angels.
Yeah, to your point, Frank, we got $1 billion deficit, but to make it worse, we have declining revenues that very few people are talking about. We have declining revenues in the city of Los Angeles because less and less business is vibrant in the city of Los Angeles, and so many businesses are closing down. So, we all know this, and just running the budget of our own businesses, big or small, you have massive debt, you have massive expense growth, you have declining revenues, you got a problem. And so that's why there's a fiscal emergency. I'm completely blown away that they can declare a fiscal emergency and then go on vacation. I mean, the reality is we need bold leadership. We got to reinvent how LA works, because right now it's not working for the people of LA. And we see it every day. We see it in the homelessness that we have around Los Angeles, the crime. We see it in the dirty streets, the broken sidewalks. There's not a lot going well in the city of LA. And it can change, and I'm hopeful it will change sometime down the road with the right leadership.
And that's something I've certainly been hearing a lot, attending some of the biggest business events here, including some with you at the Milken Global Conference, for example, and the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards, where you received already many years ago the Master Entrepreneur of the Year Award here for Los Angeles. And hearing that people want leaders, not politicians. Is that something you're hearing as well as you go around?
Well, I'm hoping that, people now in Los Angeles, and maybe unfortunately the fires were the trigger point for this, realize that we need to hire to elect, both hire and elect people that are actually competent, that have experience. The city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles, and the state of California, incredibly complex organizations. And you have to put people in charge that actually have experience in managing and leading complex organizations. What's predictable is preventable. And what was predictable is electing and hiring people that don't have the experience is going to have a bad ending. And that's what we're living in now. And frankly, this has been going on for the last couple mayors in Los Angeles, people without the right kind of executive skills. And we're paying a dear price for it. So, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, I don't think is the issue as much as it's somebody who's competent and has experience, has the energy and the backbone to make good, smart, tough decisions in the best interest of the people of California, LA, and the county.
Recently, they had the Treasures of L.A. event in downtown L.A., the Central City Association event, and then the upheaval there in downtown Los Angeles followed. And certainly downtown L.A. Getting a lot of attention. And as you mentioned, crime and homelessness, unfortunately, still huge issues there. And by the way, taxes and regulations appear to be number one on the list of business concerns nowadays, according to L.A. BizFed. We're in touch with all the business groups here. Downtown LA not getting much positive attention lately, but what would it take to turn downtown LA around, especially on the homeless front, on crime, and certainly just cleaning up the streets there?
Well, I think it's pretty simple, Frank. It's just good leadership and some smart decisions. Clean the streets. Don't allow the homeless to have encampments. Don't allow trash to pile up. Have officers walk in the streets so they feel safe and are safe. We got to encourage businesses to move back in, refill those office buildings. We have office buildings now that are 40% empty. It downstream hurts every small business, florists, dry cleaners, restaurants, when there isn't the daytime population there. The mayor needs to be calling people and encouraging people to move into LA, but people are not going to move their businesses into downtown LA unless the streets are clean and it's safe. And to your point, our cost of living in Los Angeles is outrageous. And we've got to break this cycle by building more housing. Housing right now on average in Los Angeles is almost $1 million for the average cost. Can't afford that. People are graduating. They're trying to start their lives. Even people who've been in the workforce for a while. Many people are driving an hour or two out of LA to come to work. Can't do that. It's unsustainable. And we've had very little housing built in the city of Los Angeles because we're so overregulated, and the cost to build in LA is so high. They go to outside LA City, they go to Glendale, they go to Culver City. We've got our neighboring cities eating our lunch. We've got to be competitive and smart, and we've got to reduce the cost of living in LA so people can thrive in LA.
No, you had a big forum recently. I know you're involved with the big real estate groups here at NAIOP, and then Lou Horn, a giant on the business scene as well, recently spoke with you, I understand, at a forum. What were some of the big takeaways there, and what's happening on the commercial real estate scene here in the Los Angeles area, especially as it relates to the that big project there that right in the heart of downtown, right across from the crypto.com arena that remains unfinished, and I know you've presented some great ideas on what to do with that in the future. Give us an update on what's happening on the commercial real estate front.
Well, I'm not an expert in commercial real estate per se, but I can tell you, I certainly read about it and watch it. I had dinner downtown, as it turned out, with Lou Horn last night and my son, Alex. And, downtown is sad because of the vacancies. There's not a lot of people going to work downtown, and more of these companies are moving out. They're moving into Century City, which is actually having a huge renaissance, increasing rents, because Century City is clean and it's safe. And as a CEO or owner of a company, you want your employees to be in a place where they feel safe, and that's the right thing to do. So can we turn it around? Yes. Good, smart leadership can turn it around. But downtown is hurting right now, and we've got to get that changed. And we're in a bad cycle. Those two towers that are sitting there with the graffiti on them, to me, that's just symbolic of the failure of leadership we have. It's a continuous reminder. We have got to get those things cleaned up. We are 3 years away from the Olympics, and we can't figure out how to fix our sidewalks, clean the graffiti, deal with the homeless problems. How the hell are we going to deal with the Olympics and show the world how great this city is? So we've got to get serious about this and get some things done and get our city back to where it should be and can be. It's the best city in the world, and we've got the best creative people and innovators and the best diversity in the world here. So we just got to unleash it, get out of its way of the people, and this city will come back.
On the Air Live with Rick Caruso. And what's the next step in the Steadfast LA initiative? Any other help needed? Are you still looking for other business folks to get involved, volunteers, or what's needed at this point to keep the momentum going?
We're always looking for good people, good talented people. We have a ton that are donating a lot of their time and talent. Like I said yesterday, the folks from Gensler, Andy Cohen was out there. We've got landscape architects that are donating their time, and Andy's donating his time right now in the planning stage. So that's happening at all levels. Like we did with the AI model, we donated to the city that can now plan check people's homes in a matter of hours instead of a matter of months. So the team is doing a lot of great things. We're going to be leading some kickoffs for fundraising. We're excited. We're going to be bringing some homes out to Altadena with our partnership with Samara and get people back in that community. And so we're excited about that for Altadena. We're also bringing some retailers back out to Altadena to help revive Upper Lake. So listen, log on to steadfast.com. If you want to donate your time and your talent or some money, we'd love to talk to you about that. And just great ideas. We're always looking for great ideas to move it forward. It's going to be a public-private partnership. We all got to lean in to rebuild these areas and bring back these wonderful communities.
We're speaking on a day in which the stock market has hit a record high. You're probably one of the most positive people I know. So let's talk about what's happening on the economy and so forth. From your vantage point, how is the economy looking, and in your reaction to this record-shattering day today in the financial markets?
Yeah, well, listen, the financial markets are good. It took a little bit of a bump because, the president talked about trade differences with Canada, and the market is a little bit skittish right now, but it still ended up great. And, we've recovered all the losses since April for the most part, so it's great. The broader economy, I'm bullish on. I see it on our properties. We've got double-digit growth at the Grove. We've got high single-digit growth year to date across our portfolio. Our attendance is increasing. Sales per square foot is increasing. But, we're operating properties that are safe and clean and a place where people can come and just gather and be with friends and family and enjoy life and celebrate life. And, that's what we have to get more parts of this city like that, where people feel safe in different environments. And I want to give a shout out. I had dinner the other night at a place called Laurel Grill in Century City, or in Culver City rather. And I got to tell you, Culver City has done a hell of a job. It's clean, it's vibrant. They got great new restaurants. And I walked around with my team saying, why doesn't LA look like this? The city of Glendale is the same thing. These things can happen, again, with the right leadership. And those cities that are neighboring us have done a really good job, and I'm really proud of them, and I understand why they're thriving.
Well, it's certainly understandable. You're on the cover of the LA 500 top business leaders in Los Angeles, and Rick Caruso, with the 4th of July coming up, anything special coming up at the Grove and the other places you have?
Well, we're going to be proud on all of our properties. The American flags are flying all over. We're proud to be an American, and we're going to celebrate, and the family's going to be together. We're going to have a big barbecue and watch some fireworks, and just thank God we all live in this country.
That's wonderful. Well, Rick Caruso, thank you very much. We'll keep an open line to you, and wish you a very happy 4th of July coming up here already next week. Hard to believe half the year is already over, so let's be in touch here, and look forward to many more conversations here. Thank you very much for joining us live here this afternoon.
Buddy.
Thank you very, very much. The one and only Rick Caruso live with us here. Mottek on Money on 790 KBC. Frank Mottek here for United Gold Group. Did you know that for more than 10,000 years, gold has been the greatest store of value and considered a safe haven asset to preserve your wealth? And now with the U.S. debt at more than $36 trillion and climbing, the possible recession on the horizon, and the development of the digital dollar, central bank digital currency, it's more critical now than ever before to safeguard your assets like your cash savings and retirement accounts with physical gold. Opening a gold IRA, one of the best ways to secure your wealth and create a stable financial future. Stop worrying about your retirement in the market and cash savings in the bank. Feel confident, prepared, and in control with physical gold and your silver. Give my friends at United Gold Group a call. The number is 800-753-8534. Mention Mottek, and you can get $1,000 worth of silver with a qualifying purchase. Call now, 800-753-8534, or visit UnitedGoldGroup.com. Mottek On Money continues, 790 KABC. Good afternoon. Record-shattering day for stocks today. As the first half of 2025 winds down, we see the Dow up 432 points at the closing bell today at 43,819. The big news is, though, the S&P 500, that broadly based index, has hit a record high of 32 points today to settle at 6,173. First record close since February for that benchmark index. And the NASDAQ also at a record high close. The tech-heavy NASDAQ moving up 105 points at 20,273. The yield in the 10-year note is back down to 4.28%. The S&P 500 was trading near record territory for much of the day over optimism on trade. The U.S. and China clinched a trade truce, at least, and hopes for a rate cut from the Fed sooner rather than later also helped give the market a boost today. By the way, we'll be discussing the market in detail coming up here with Jonathan Hoenig, big Fox Business and Fox News contributor. He'll be joining me live coming up in the next half hour. Stocks did temporarily take a dramatic turn lower after the president posted a social media posting that he was terminating all discussions on trade with Canada, effective immediately, citing Canada's digital services tax as the reason. He said he would set a new tariff rate on Canadian goods within the next week. Earlier, we did see the market get a boost after the U.S. and China signed a trade deal. According to the president, the two sides sealed the tariff truce that was announced last month in Geneva, and China confirmed details of the agreed trade framework, according to various media reports. Under that deal, China committed to delivering rare earth minerals to the United States, according to the U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Also today, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the U.S. would complete the balance of most of its important trade talks by Labor Day, and that raised hopes that the U.S. would not be firm on its July 9th tariff deadline. That'll be here before you know it. Also, the Fed remains in focus after 2 days of testimony this week by Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, and reports that President Trump might move to replace the Fed chairman before his term ends next year. The Fed's rate path also in focus, with the latest reading on the Fed's preferred inflation gauge out today, showing price increases accelerated in the month of May, and inflation remains above the Fed's 2% target. The Fed chairman stressed that an uptick in price pressures could be a stumbling block to a rate cut anytime soon. That report also contains signs of an economic slowdown, though. We're following all these developments closely. You know, all this gold took a hit today, down nearly $62 right now at $3,286 and change. Platinum, which has seen a big pop this week, above $1,400, pulling back more than $63 at $1,351 and change. And silver down as well, down 76 cents at $36.17, and what's been a epic run-up for platinum, especially this year. Silver, too, and for that matter, gold, which, of course, hit a record high just about a month or so ago, above 3,500. The cryptos have been holding up pretty well all this week. Bitcoin right now at above 107,000, Ethereum at 2,433, and Doge at the moment at 16 cents. Looks like NVIDIA hitting record highs and is number one now on the list of most valuable companies once again, closing up nearly $3 today to $157 and change. Microsoft also at or near a record high. Microsoft trading places with NVIDIA at the top of that most valuable list. Microsoft down today by $1.51 at $495 and change. Amazon, of course, in focus as Jeff Bezos marries his fiancée today, Lauren Sanchez. We see Amazon getting a pop today up more than $6 at $223 and change. And now the latest news on 790 KBC. Mottek On Money continues. 790 KBC. Our top story: record-shattering day for stocks, with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ closing at all-time highs. Joining us live now, Jonathan Hoenig, investment expert, Fox News and Fox Business contributor, portfolio manager at Capitalist Big Hedge Fund, author of the book Price is Primary: How to Profit with Any Asset in Any Market at Any Time. Jonathan Hoenig, thank you very much for taking the call this afternoon.
Frank, my pleasure. Great to be with you. And I have to tell you, I've been doing this for well over 25 years, but even I've been humbled, tremendously humbled, to see names like NVIDIA, for example. I mean, this is a huge stock, one of the world's biggest stocks, up some 55% just since April, and names like Microsoft at a new all-time high. So this has been a tremendous run, and this market has truly defied all odds and all expectations.
Well, as you say, price is primary, and it's hard to ignore record high prices now for a lot of these Mag 7 names, as well as the overall market. What a rebound here, especially.
Looking for a degree program that rewards you for what you already know? At WGU, all of our bachelor's and master's programs are competency-based, allowing you to progress at your own pace. Washingtonians know how valuable time and money are, and so do we. At WGU, your hard work and experience can help you finish your degree faster and for less. Join a community of driven professionals from across the DMV who are unlocking new career opportunities today. See how your knowledge can give you an edge at wgu.edu.
Expert entrepreneur Ed Milet is on a mission to max out your life.
We're throwing open the metaphorical closet doors of our lives. We're going to be cleaning out the closet. What no longer fits? Audit some of your relationships. How about auditing your emotions? Maybe it's your career you need to look at. Get your life together for this season.
The Ed Milet Show.
It's time for a little cleaning of the soul. Let's get a little ruthless, a little refreshing, and a little real. God bless you, everyone.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
For those tech names that were hit hard earlier in the year, and look at that, Meta, the parent company of Facebook, up about 25%. Microsoft up nearly 20%, and the list goes on here.
At one point, Frank, the market, the S&P, was down over 15% in April, and the number of times that the market's actually rallied back from being down 15% to close higher on the year, only 3 or 4 times in market history. So we're truly in an unusual and unprecedented era. Now, from a valuation perspective, if you're looking at saying, well, our stock's cheap, they're clearly not. In fact, there's one indicator, Frank, that supposedly Warren Buffett uses called the Buffett indicator that suggests the market's pretty overvalued. But you can't deny, as you said, price is primary, and all-time highs, more than often than not, we get more all-time highs to come.
And, of course, just about a week ago, we were all focused on Iran and the U.S. Wiping out Iran's nuclear program there. According to President Trump, it's been obliterated after Israel also struck the Iran nuclear targets. And in all this, the price of oil saw a brief spike, but then came right back down around 65 and change here at the moment. Let's talk about that for a moment and that drama that played out just in the last week or so.
I think, ironically, the way to play it, Frank, is probably not so much oil, but rather Israel itself. You know, Israel is a hub of banking, telecommunications, technology, and is represented by a number of ETFs. The most prominent one is ticker symbol EIS. It has really been a growth story. And, you know, truly, if you think about what America and Israel have done, is they have taken a nuclear threat off the table from Iran, really remade the Middle East in just a matter of a number of weeks. So my sense is you're going to see a peace dividend throughout much of the Middle East. EIS is one way to play it. And certainly I have a lot of clients in that one over at capitalspig.com. And the price of oil seems to be stuck almost. Even some of the master limited partnerships that I've loved to play have not been going anywhere too quickly. So in terms of commodities, there's better plays than oil, but I think Israel should be commended not just for being a profitable and successful country from a financial perspective, but also what they did in terms of taming Iran in the Middle East.
It's early, and the Tel Aviv market immediately also hit record highs recently, so we did notice that too. Gold and all this pulling back, more than $60 today, at around $32.86 an ounce. Platinum, which we've talked about quite a bit here. Jonathan Hoenig had that sizzling run up, hit about 11-year high this week, and then pulled back also about $63 to $1,351. Silver, of course, has seen a big run-up this year, right now at around 36 and change. What about the precious metals here now?
I still think they have room to run, Frank. In particular, platinum and palladium, as you mentioned. The two tickers I like there and that I own over at capitalspig.com are palladium, PALL, and platinum is PPLT. And as you mentioned, I mean, we're talking about some of these up 10 and 15% in just a matter of a couple of days or a couple of weeks. And 11-year highs, Frank, I mean, would suggest that we might see 12-year highs. We might see 15-year highs. We might see all-time highs. In fact, platinum in particular still needs about a 60% gain to reach an all-time high. We know that gold's been hitting all-time highs for months now. So a rising tide lifts all boats. It's a wonderful old saying, stock market adage, and I do think that there's going to be more money made in metals this year. So, and I'd even add copper to that list, Frank. CPER is the ETF that tracks just simply the price of copper, less expensive. So make sure that commodities, I think, are one part of a truly diversified portfolio right now. Any of these names, copper, palladium, platinum, I think are all smart ways to play it.
All right, and then today the trade news was back at the forefront, including China and Canada. But what about China here now that this deal was announced today?
A lot of the names are actually starting to work, which is amazing, Frank. I mean, Chinese stocks, it's almost like the more authoritarian China became, the worse their stock market performed. And a lot of Chinese stocks are trading at or where they were traded 15, 18, 20 years ago. So despite a lot of animosity, I know, from the president and even many Americans, China, I think actually, and emerging markets writ large are a really great place to invest. One name I like is CNYA for China, but even something very basic like EEM, that's the index fund that tracks the emerging markets index. These are cheap markets historically. I mean, there was a time in which emerging markets traded like growth stocks, traded with PEs of 20, 30, 40, and now they're trading at a fraction of that valuation. So emerging markets in general, I like. China, I think in particular, I think it'll surprise Americans, and CNYA is one way to play it.
On the air live with Jonathan Hoenig. Any other specific places where you are putting money now and or taking it off the table?
Well, for years, Frank, it's been the biggest of the big names that have been doing well. So one area I'm looking at is the smallest of the smalls. In fact, micro cap stocks. We're talking about companies anywhere from $100 million, maybe up to $1 billion in size, really relatively small on a stock market basis, but an area that's very inefficient, doesn't have a lot of analysts, doesn't have a lot of investors, unlike something like NVIDIA, which happens to have, every analyst on the street. So FDM, that's F as in Frank, D as in David, M as in Mottek, FDM, that's an ETF that tracks those micro cap stocks. So put that on your list of things to evaluate.
Looking for a degree program that rewards you for what you already know? At WGU, all of our bachelor's and master's programs are competency-based, allowing you to progress at your own pace. Washingtonians know how valuable time and money are, and so do we. At WGU, your hard work and experience can help you finish your degree faster and for less. Join a community of driven professionals from across the DMV who are unlocking new career opportunities today. See how your knowledge can give you an edge at wgu.edu.
Former U.S. Navy SEAL Sean Ryan captures real stories about sacrifice and strength.
We go into this hooch searching for Christ knows what.
Regardless if anybody else does it, will you do it?
There's a lot of things that are hurtful and disturbing.
Can't get anybody to talk about it.
Uncovering truth with the heroes who live to tell it.
There's a saying, there's no atheist in a foxhole.
That was the hardest part for you coming home.
What?
How'd you get through it?
I worked hard.
The Sean Ryan Show.
You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
I think now is a great time to diversify out of the names that have worked for quite some time, and it's been all big caps for many, many years now. So give some of the small caps a look and micro caps as well. FDM is the way to play that one.
Thanks for making it easy for me to remember that one, so thank you for that, and that's terrific. What about crypto? Let's not forget that. I know you keep an eye on it. We talked to the biggest fans here as well as the harshest critics. Looks like the critics have taken a back seat lately as Bitcoin hit a record high not too long ago and has held up pretty well this week again, above 107,000 here at last check. What are you doing anything? Are you touching crypto at all?
I'm admiring it, Frank. I have to say, I have been historically a skeptic. I've never owned much crypto. I've dabbled in it, but it has really persisted over a number of environments right now. Rising dollar, falling dollar, rising interest rate, falling interest rate. Now, certainly it's been helped by a massive amount of legislation. You saw Coinbase shares are up up 1,000% since their lows in 2022. And certainly this administration is turning out to be the most crypto-friendly administration we've had. Fannie and Freddie are in effect legalizing crypto as public tender now this week with some new some regulations. So a very friendly public policy has been bullish for crypto. Don't own it. But one great saying is don't fight the tape. And as long as these cryptos and names like Bitcoin hit new multi-month highs, don't stand in their way.
Terrific. Jonathan Hoenig, thank you very much for joining us live on this record-shattering day for the stock market. Investment expert Jonathan Hoenig, Fox News and Fox Business contributor, portfolio manager at Capitalist Big Hedge Fund. His book, Price is Primary, How to Profit with Any Asset in Any Market at Any Time. Jonathan Hoenig, thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend and look forward to talking again very soon.
My great honor. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you very much. And out to the freeways now, 790 KABC. Mottek On Money continues here in 790 KABC, celebrating American exceptionalism. Stephen Barber does that these days with monuments. Writer, filmmaker, documentarian. He's done it all, but nowadays focused on celebrating America. All of this, of course, ahead of the 4th of July coming up. He celebrated the moon landing astronauts, Apollo 11, Apollo 13, that epic success story of American greatness. And Stephen Barber is on the line with us here right now. Stephen, thank you very much for taking the call here today.
Frank, now I've done it all. I'm on Mottek On Money. Now there's nothing left. This is it.
And it's not the first time, so congratulations on your latest project. I'm going to let you announce it, Stephen Barber. Go right ahead.
Well, yeah, once again, I've been so fortunate, Frank. I was able to vision and build the Apollo 11 monument at the Kennedy Space Center and the Apollo 13 monument at the Houston Space Flight Center, and just finished the second Sally Ride monument at the Reagan Library. These great Americans shining the light on them. And I just finished visioning and building the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald John Trump, which my high honor. And to be able to build, I was told, and I didn't know this until the last couple of weeks, I'm the first person in the history of this country in 250 years to be able to build a monument to a sitting president while in office and have him unveil it. And we were able to, 6 weeks ago, take this monument over with the Lundin sculptors, America's greatest sculptors out of Loveland, Colorado, George and Mark Lundin, along with Joey Boehner, master artist, and take this monument and meet with the president and have breakfast with the president. And I got to tell your listeners, when you meet the president in person, he's the kindest, most decent, most introspective, most listening, most caring. I mean, it was just mind-boggling. He's not the guy you see on TV. He's this master builder, and he was so intrigued about how the monument was built and engaged me and engaged my people, and I was blown away. I mean, it was just, to this day, to this moment, I'm still like, what a decent, kind, unbelievably introspective, brilliant man. And, when you're in front of him, he treats you one-on-one like you're the only person in the world, and it was just extraordinary.
On the air live with Stephen Barber, and tell us about the monument which captured that moment following the assassination attempt. Tell us about the monument itself.
Well, I originally had the idea to build Mr. Trump's monument a decade ago when he was in office the first time, but then I realized you couldn't really build a monument until somebody that was out of office, so I thought, well, maybe we'll try to do that for the library. But the moment, and I mean the second that he was shot, I started fundraising. And I went out and I found $300,000, and I was able to build and get the money and vision the monument with the Lundin sculptors and get it to the golf course at the Trump International, where it's sitting right now with that iconic, hand in the air, fight, fight, fight. And the Lundin sculptors aren't just America's greatest sculptors. They may be the world's greatest sculptors. Their monuments actually, they move, even though it's a 780-pound, piece of clay and bronze. There's this movement and there's this storytelling ability that the Lundins have that no other sculptor in America has. And I'm just so fortunate to be, working with them and having, and so proud to say that they're my partners in this great opportunity to shine a light on American exceptionalism at the highest level, all the way to the executive branch of the White House now.
All right, to see the monument, you have to go to Florida, right? It's on display there now in West Palm Beach. Is that right?
Yeah, well, for now, yeah, you have to go. You can Google it. You can find, if you put my name, Stephen Barber Trump Monument, you can definitely see it. But yeah, you have to be a member of the golf course to get down there. But I just was able to get another commission from the Trump administration. I'll be building a second Trump monument at Trump Tower. This is the first time anybody's heard of this. And we're out fundraising for the money right now. It's going to be that iconic view of him coming down the escalator a decade ago when he announced his candidacy for the presidency of the United States. There's going to be a big plaque there. And the difference between this one and the one at the golf course, which is extraordinary, is that's a beautiful piece of artwork for the people that belong to that golf course. This is going to belong to the people of the world. Over 2.5 million people a year will see this iconic monument that I'll be building with the Lundin sculptors. We're actually putting together the vision and the scope of it right now. So 2.5 million people can see it a year. That's how many people go through the Trump Tower. So to be able to have the Trump administration call me back and tell me how excited they are to be working with me, I don't even know what to say. This is just my journey, and I'm happy to be on it.
See it tonight, read about it tomorrow, but hear it now on Mottek On Money on 790 KBC. Huge congratulations on that, Stephen Barber. And you just reminded me the last time we were on the air, and you're someone that celebrates great Americans. The last time we were on the air together, we were on the air with astronaut Jim Lovell, the Apollo 13 commander who was honored here in Beverly Hills some years ago, and you were on the line with him at that time, at that wonderful occasion. So God bless you for honoring our great astronauts and all great Americans.
Well, Jim is still alive. Jim's 97 years old now, and I spoke to him last month, and he's still coherent. Buzz Aldrin lives right up the road. He's 95 years old. But what I do want to let people know is that I'm also going to be building at least 3 monuments for the president's new monument park. He's got 100+ monuments that he wants to build. Looks like they're going to do it somewhere in the Dakotas. Looks like it's going to be about maybe 10 or 20 minutes from Mount Rushmore. There's a big parcel of land that looks like it's going to be given to the government for Mr. Trump's monument. And like I said, I'm once again working with the Lundins. My job, I'm 64 years old. I've got another 20, 25 years if I don't get hit by a safe. My job is to shine the light on Americans that are so much better, so much brighter, so much braver than I could ever be. But what a great journey to be on. I mean, I'm so gifted. I'm so lucky to have this gift that was given to me. And
What's your website? What's your website, Stephen?
Well, my website's vanillafire.com. I'm still making documentaries from time to time, but I've really pivoted from the documentary world, working on monuments 100 hours a week, because monuments they'll be here 1,000 years from now, Frank. That's what's great about a monument. It's like, the internet could go down, the radio can go down, TV can go down, but monuments will be here. We're still in awe of the pyramids some 3,000 years later.
Stephen, thank you very much for that great story. Live with us here, Stephen Barber on Mottek On Money on 790 KBC.
Former U.S. Navy SEAL Sean Ryan captures real stories about sacrifice and strength.
We go into this hooch searching for Christ knows what.
Regardless if anybody else does it, will you do it?
There's a lot of things that are hurtful and disturbing.
Can't get anybody to talk about it.
Uncovering truth with the heroes who live to tell it.
There's a saying, there's no atheist in a foxhole.
That was the hardest part for you coming home.
Was.
How'd you get through it?
I worked hard.
The Sean Ryan Show.
You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.